Hello, fellow travelers on the road that is life's journey. This is Kim Best of Best Conflict Solutions. You chose the right path by listening to Aubrey and the Road to Rediscovery. Enjoy.
Our lives are laid out on a road of bumps, turns, struggles, and more. How do we respond? How do we endure adversity for learning and growth? I'm Aubrey Johnson, and we'll explore these questions and more on the Road to Rediscovery. Hello to each and every one of you, and welcome to another special solo episode of the Road to Rediscovery. I'm your host, Aubrey Johnson. Now this, as I said, is a special solo episode, and it's not just a solo episode, it's a solo episode that was resurrected and remastered from its June 2019 original release. The original episode talked about ways to receive and accept constructive criticism. At different times in our life, if we're lucky, we are faced with learning opportunities by listening to someone give us feedback. I know me personally, I am a lifelong learner. That is why talent development, the industry in which I am in and have been for over 30 years, I am more than welcome to receive feedback as a gift, right? The words critical and criticism can often have a negative connotation, right? But like I said earlier, feedback is a gift, and when it's shared constructively and respectfully, there's a lot of value in what's said, making us happy to receive it, apply it, and grow. But how do you discern between criticism that is helpful and criticism that is hurtful? This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about 3 healthy steps to receiving criticism. In just about everything we do, we all like to receive affirmation that we're doing a good job, right? Whether it's from our boss, a coworker, maybe a customer, it feels good to get that affirmation, and it supports the inherent need that we all have for validation. If someone asks, how do you feel or respond when you're acknowledged for good performance, the answer is fairly easy. But how do you feel or respond when the feedback is less than positive and more critical? The way you receive or accept the criticism is pivotal in future performance moving forward. Here's what I mean. Like most people, I've had to learn this the hard way through numerous experiences and some tough conversations. Over time, I've taught myself to simplify how I receive criticism to 3 simple steps. You ready? All right, step 1. And it's a mantra. You can make it a mantra or just a phrase that compels you. Maybe it's a phrase that is easy to remember. But for step 1, toughen the skin, open the mind. It's very important to remove the emotional attachment to our work and our performance. Take a more cerebral approach to receiving feedback. And keep an open mind by understanding there's always room to improve for anything, right? Read or listen to the criticism, looking for anecdotes for improvement, for growth. Now, when you receive feedback and criticism, which is a gift, because it's a gift, you are not obligated to follow every piece of advice or criticism that is given to you. You look for the areas in which you know, with your open mind and level of self-awareness, that you can apply to contribute to your growth. All right, number 2, consider the source. Who's giving the criticism? What is their background? Don't be so quick to dismiss criticism from someone unfamiliar with what you do. Good feedback can come from anyone, whether or not they are known as an authority in that field or an expert, right? Someone who's not so knowledgeable in an area may point out something you may have been too close to realize. When receiving criticism from someone who is an authority on the topic, look for feedback that is factual. Was your performance too fast? Was it too slow? Was it incomplete in some way? Were there any inaccuracies? Asking them to clarify their feedback can also help you release the emotional attachment and embrace your passion to improve. Step 3. How is it said? Is it said to help or to hurt? This is kind of linked to the first element of toughening the skin, right? different people have different personalities, and there are people who are very well intentioned in how they come across, and it's often received as offensive. But that may be the nature of that person. These are things we must consider. Again, removing the emotional part helps you to clearly dissect each piece of feedback. It also helps you to get to the core of the actual message, right? Don't worry so much about how they're coming across or how they're saying something, but what is the message buried inside of how they're saying it? Break the feedback down and ask yourself, will this part help me or is it meant to hurt me? For example, if the criticism covers details or mechanics of your performance and offers a suggestion or two for you to try, that would be considered constructive and helpful. If the criticism sounds open-ended without any suggestions to support their critique, they're only kind of critiquing back at what they saw you do that was wrong or that they felt was wrong, but don't offer any suggestions on how to overcome that critique. Or maybe in their feedback, it sounds as if your character is being questioned. Then that type of feedback is most likely not given to help you, right? In fact, sadly, it's probably given more so for the benefit of the person giving the feedback to make themselves feel better. And those are the 3 steps to receiving criticism. Quick recap. Step 1, toughen the skin, open the mind. Step 2, consider the source. And step 3, how is it said? Is it said to help or to hurt? A big thanks to all of you for tuning in and listening, and please know that while it may not feel like it, you are not alone in your struggles, and there's always hope. Please share this show with someone you know who can use some inspiration, encouragement, and support. We're all roadies on this journey of life, and it sure feels good having you on the road with me. Thanks again for listening. We'll chat again soon. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of The Road to Rediscovery. We'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at roadtorediscoverypodcast@gmail.com and leave us any questions or comments you may have. The Road to Rediscovery is an AJ Shark production.